the 26th chapter, because this is where Paul was giving a summary of how God has called him. You got to understand that there are points and times in our life God would take a person, you say, or he would take you with your messed up self and use you for his purpose. This is where Paul began to reflect back how he was a murderer of Christians. It was his job to persecute Christians. And where God began to stop him in the middle of his tracks. God began to stop him in the midst of what he was doing and called him out. And God saying, I have been calling you in the midst of your turmoil. I have been calling you in the midst of your struggles. But do you have ears to hear me calling you? Let's look at Acts the 26th chapter. When you look up Acts the 26th chapter, let's look at verse 12. Reading out of the New King James Version. It says, while thus, this is Paul talking, occupied as I have journeyed to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priest at midday, O king, along the road, I saw a light from heaven. So he said, as he was doing his job as persecuting Christians, he saw a light from heaven, brighter than the sun shining around me and those who journeyed with me. As when we all had fallen to the ground, I heard a voice speaking to me and saying in this Hebrew language, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? It is hard for you to kick against the goads. So I said, who are you, Lord? And he said, I am Jesus whom you are persecuting. But rise and stand on your feet. See, as I begin to look up that word rise, not only was God telling him to rise, he was telling him to get up out of your situation. Get up out of that mindset where you have been persecuting me. And I want you to get up and I want you to work for me. He said, and I want you to stand. I want you to stand up in the purpose that I called. He said, stand up on your feet. For I have appeared to you for this purpose. Say purpose. You got to know that God got a purpose for your life. He said to make you a minister and a witness both of the things which you have seen and the things which I have yet revealed to you. He said, I will deliver you from the Jewish people as well as from the Gentiles, to whom now I send you to open up your eyes in order to turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and an inheritance among those who are sanctified by faith in me. Now turn your Bibles to Matthew 22. If you turn your Bibles to Matthew 22, look at verse 14. He said, for many are called, but few are chosen. And God said, now I want to know who have called you. Because see, when I looked up that word called, it means that everybody was called, everybody was invited to give their life to the Lord. He invites everybody. It says, but few, and as I looked up that word few, it means but a small amount of people are chosen. And when I looked up that word chosen, that's are those who have been called by God. It's where we have made up our minds and we have aligned ourselves to allow God to deal with us to call us out of darkness to change our lives for him.